Greetings, witches, wizards, and magicians, and welcome to Micah's Let's Play. I am so excited, guys. This is going to be part 2 of a 2-part video called Slytherin Club, but I'm not alone, as you can tell, because I'm joined by a very special ghost.
I am the goat, thank you. My name is Magic Maestro, because who else would I be?
You be the judge. As you can see, we're having fun here. So, guys, I'm really excited. As I said before, we're doing a Fireside Chat Slytherin Club, and we're going to do this second part video, but we're going to do a quick little recap. What I'm going to tell you guys what happened in part 1 in case you didn't know. So, in part 1, Magic Maestro and I went down memory lane talking about our first experiences reading Harry Potter and our experiences with Hogwarts Legacy, the game that we're all super, super, super excited about. Yes, I put in 3 supers. and in this second part, guys, we are going to be talking about the controversy, our fears and concerns for Hogwarts Legacy, because as you know, as well as I know, a lot of people ain't happy with the original author, Miss J.K. herself. But what I want to do is that I actually want to ask Maestro, like, what's his take on, you know, Maestro, now I'm talking to you. What's your take on, you know, the controversy surrounding KJ and her views on trans women?
Okay, so I've thought about this a lot, and I've kind of been conflicted, but here's kind of like how I've thought about it most recently. So JK has said things that are clearly anti-trans. There's no mistaking that. And, you know, there's been articles written about them, and we don't have to repeat what she said here. But I don't agree with her views. And JK has no involvement in this game, thankfully. And Warner Brothers is making the game inclusive in a number of ways. I mean, we've got the ability to choose your voice, the ability to choose your dormitory. There's a lot of inclusive things that the game developers are making sure is in the game to try and reach a more diverse audience. And I can't know what the experience of being part of the trans community is like, but I hope that, at least with my channel and with my voice and how I cover the game and how I experience it, I can give space for their concerns. I'm not naive enough to think that J.K. Rowling will ever change her mind on how she feels about these topics, but I want to be someone that hopes that, I don't know, maybe one day she could view things differently, and I want to live in a world where everyone can be accepted. And I don't know why I was born in this time and place, you know, it was a roll of the dice, you know, this is the life I was given, but I hope that whatever it is that I have to offer, I leave a legacy, a positive change, and that's the story I want to write.
First and foremost, a round of applause, because those are very insightful words, and same here, you know, I completely agree with you, Maestro, because it is time for more love to be out there, positive change, and we have to be the voices. You know, one of my mentors told me a long time ago, you have to be the change you want to see. Mm-hmm. So in order for that to happen, we have to be the living examples of that. So again, I co-sign on what you say. I completely agree. And if you are someone of the trans community, know that we love and support you, because you're people too.
Definitely.
Everybody.
Yeah.
So now that we talked about that, which I'm very grateful for, let's talk about, you know, our fears and concerns for Hogwarts Legacy, because, you know, the game is coming out, guys, like literally next month in February.
Too soon.
Yes. Right, too soon. It's like the hype. And this game has so much hype around it that, you know, again, we have to think realistically. This game can't do everything. It can't be everything that we want it to be. But with that said, I mean, we can kind of talk about some of the things we're concerned and we have fears of. So, you know, Maestro, what are your top 5 fears and concerns?
Honestly, I'm a little bit afraid the game will be bad. And here's why I say that. The last game that Avalanche made before being brought into the Warner Brothers umbrella was like a Cars 3 racing game. So it wasn't necessary, and no shade on racing games. I played many hours of Mario Kart in my youth, but to go from that to making your very first, open world RPG, I mean, that's like a huge change. And so there's not a track record. Like FromSoft with making, they had Demon Souls and Bloodborne and Dark Souls. I mean, they had a track record before they came out with their game last year. And so I'm a little bit worried that, will they be able to deliver? And so that's one of my concerns. Another one is, will the game be buggy? Because none of us want a Cyberpunk on our hands, right? Like, all of a sudden the game comes out and no one can play it. Like, that will just tank the momentum and the hype. That will just, like, derail that hype train like nothing else if people can't play the game. I think another thing is I'm worried about the narrative, because we've heard, like, oh, there's a Goblin Rebellion and we can use ancient magic, and we've heard some sprinkles of things, but, like, I understand they don't want to give away the plot, but, like, how will it all tie together? Is it gonna, it's like that the story is better in your head, or the characters from a movie are better in your head from the book, and then when you see it in the movie, you're like, oh, that's not how I envisioned them. Like, how is this story gonna play out compared to all of our fan theories and theory craftings? Like, I hope better, or at least the same, if not better. I think also, I hope there's gonna be some replay value in the game, because I don't think just being able to, like, play in a different house, I don't think that's enough. Like, I want there to be a little bit more, just a little bit more. Maybe it's down the road, like some DLC, like endgame stuff. But, like, I hope that replaying the game might even, like, have something to do with lore, aka time turners. Just a thought.
Right, where's Hermione Granger when we need her? Right. But you know what, though? Your concerns are basically mine. Because, like I said earlier, everybody's so excited about this game, and it's like, will it live up to the hype? Yeah. But honestly, I think I will like to give Warner Brothers some kudos and, Avalanche, because they've been able to keep the story largely out of it, especially if the story is really deep. I remember when I first saw Dragon Age Inquisition, I knew nothing about the story other than the guy had a glowy hand, and I was thoroughly impressed with the story. So I'm hoping that, Hogwarts Legacy is the same. I mean, just the fact that we get to walk around Hogwarts and, as I said earlier, get to walk around Hogsmeade is enough, is enough. But if it has a good story, like you said, a good narrative, then I think we'll be okay, fingers crossed, but those are some serious concerns. But now that we talked about the concerns, because I'm a person that I like to talk about the bad before I talk about the good. Okay. So now let's talk about the good. Yeah. So Maestro, what are some of your hopes? Like, what are you looking forward to in this game?
Well,
top 5.
Yeah, sure. I think when we watched was it the latest gameplay showcase? I think it was. Mm-hmm. We got to see the room of requirement, and all of a sudden it was like, oh man, there is so much to do in this game. Because after the first gameplay showcase, I think we were all like, Hogwarts is beautiful, but what are we gonna do? Like, what are we doing here? And I think, like, with the vivariums and the room of requirement, there's gonna be like potion crafting and crafting gear and breeding animals. Like, all of a sudden, like, okay, there's stuff to do. Like, there's stuff to, like, sink your teeth into, and, like a werewolf. Like, get into this game. There's meat to the bones.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop with that analogy. Okay. So the second thing I think I'm excited for, or hoping for, is that the characters' choices having meaning. I think that that's what I want. I want the character choices to really mean something to how the story plays out. It's not that I want, like, oh, you don't get to see this content because you made that choice, but I want it to mean something, and not just be like, oh, you took the left path or the right path, but they ended up at the same place anyway. So it's like, you know?
Right.
So I hope there's a little bit of meaning. Also, you know, I hope that the story is going to be awesome. We talked about a little bit of that before. And here was something I just thought about the other day. It's like, I really hope that those 2 years of extra game development time, like, have been put to good use. Because, like, there was like gameplay demos. There were even leaks like way back in the day. And I think that I hope that that all this extra time will be worth it in terms of the game coming together. I guess the last thing I would say is, I hope there's like more to come. Like, I hope there's DLC, or I hope there's, more games made. I hope that if this game does well, it's not the end of the story, so to speak. I know. What do you think?
Yes.
What do you think?
Thank you for asking. Honestly, yeah, those are my hopes as well. Like, more importantly is that, we only got to really see one character's, like, potential storyline, and that's Sebastian. Because there's been a lot of focus on him versus any of the other classmates / companions. And I hope that everyone's companion quest or classmate quest is worth it. Like you said, those 5 years, those extra 2 years, because this game was in 5 years of development, really turn out something amazing. And I'm with you heavily on choice, because one of the games I was super burned with was Mass Effect 3.
Yeah.
When you realize there's 3 options, and honestly, none of them really matter. None of them
I knew you were going to say that before you even said what game you were disappointed by. In my head, I'm like, Mass Effect 3? Oh, yeah.
Yes. I mean, I love Mass Effect. It's one of my favorite game franchises, but I don't want a Mass Effect. No one wants a Mass Effect or a Cyberpunk. We want something that's gonna make us feel like, yeah, I felt that in the heart. If I cry during this playthrough, like when I do my Let's Play, I don't care, because I want the story to be that good. But again, I have to temper my expectations, and just hope that when we get this game, that it turns out to be, it exceeds my expectations, or it's like, I didn't even think about that. What, like Maestro was saying, all of our theory crafting, but be surprised. I want this to be a pleasant surprise. Even if the story's not super good, but the gameplay is amazing, then I'm good. Those are my hopes. But with that being said, I just want to say, Maestro, like, truly thank you for being here and, agreeing to do this with me. I mean, we're just two random dudes on the internet, and and we're both excited about Hogwarts Legacy, and I was just like, what? I really like this guy's content. If you have not gone to Magic Maestro's channel, his link will be in the video description. You need to check out this guy's stuff, because I remember when his channel only had like maybe a couple of what was it, like, you were still in the double digits. Mm-hmm. I think you had around 80 or something, or maybe around that, and I was like, oh my god, I was binge watching his content. So I highly recommend that you go check him out, because this guy is on fire, and I cannot wait to see what happens next in this coming year. But do you have any final thoughts you want to share, Mr. Maestro?
Yeah, first of all, thank you for having me as a guest today. I really enjoyed being here. And when you asked me, hey, do you want to like do something together, it took me all of like 5 seconds to come up with a response. I was like, of course. Because you were the first Hogwarts Legacy content creator to like leave a comment on one of my videos, and it really meant a lot to me, because I think it was like, at that time I was like, well, I don't have a lot of views or subscribers, and okay, maybe I'm just not, I'm not reaching people or whatever, and that's fine. I'm passionate about this game, and I'm doing it to be creative. Okay, great, that's like cool. But then like when you left a comment like, yeah, this is fun, this is great, I was like, yeah, this is great, I'm gonna keep doing this, I'm gonna, and it kind of like gave me that spark to like, yeah, keep at it. And I think that as I make more videos, that's like what I hope to keep on doing, is getting better and better, becoming more entertaining for people, so that they want to come back and they get to enjoy their time hanging out. And maybe, I'd like to do this as a living one day. So I'm trying to make that happen. But, just so people know, if they come to my channel, I'm going to be talking about video game news, Harry Potter lore, and a little bit of dad jokes, because that's just kind of who I am.
Oh my God, I love it. You know what? Dad jokes, I support it. I support the dad jokes. One of my favorite dad jokes, this is a side tangent, is not even. When you think about it, you'll get it if you're a dad.
Oh man, I got it in like a second. I was like, yes.
Not even. Anywho, but again, Maestro, thank you so much for coming. I appreciate you, man, and I'm glad that I entertained you. And one of my favorite videos he did, he talks about time, and Maestro is big on making the best use of your time. It was I just love his content, so I highly recommend, like I said, go check him out. But I'm gonna wrap this video up, guys. But what I do want to know is, what do you guys think about the game? Let us know in the comment section down below, because we want to know how you feel about this as well. What are your concerns? What are your hopes? How do you feel about the controversy? What was your first experience, reading Harry Potter? What was your first thought when you saw the state of play? What happened to you? Did your mind explode like ours? Because I'm telling you, when I first saw that state of play, my channel was graveyard dead. I had nothing coming out, but I saw that state of play, and it's as if something unlocked in my mind, and I was like, I must create. And I'm so grateful and thankful that I did. So if anyone from Avalanche or Warner Brothers is watching this randomly, thank you for creating this game. Rather if it's good or bad, thank you, because you unlocked something within the both of us, and look at what we're doing today because of you.
You know what, Micah? Oh yeah, sorry.
No. Go.
I was just gonna say, Micah, I think our mischief has been managed.
It has been. But with all that said, Maestro, you know what to do.
Bye.
Wizards out.